Brother on the decks. Panda bitch.
Panda bitch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
Here we are, boys.
the talk show. What we have today, me and my friend Jess, we've got a nice topic to discuss for everyone today.
Real good topic.
We hope to reach our own conclusions, but understand what each other are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Jess, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Jesse, and I like to party.
Damn, that's right.
But we're here to talk about Windows versus Mac. The classic.
In what way?
The way it should be set up, the way it should be built, the way it should run.
All right. Now, ladies
We
and
can
gentlemen,
mix and match. We can keep it 90s. We can do whatever.
I've got a timer here, 3 minutes each side. Let's start it off for my mate Jess. He's going to be supporting the MacBook side. I know, ridiculous. And therefore, obviously, I will be on the Windows side. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes. Ready, set, go.
Alright, well, I'm sure you've got many questions about the beautiful old Mac, but I will let you know a few things first. And that is easy to run, easy to set up, easy for music production, and fantastically smooth for running other programs. This, we're talking, a bit XY. We understand that. You might not have as much RAM. We know this, but you cannot lose when running a Mac. The way you can record and produce, second to none. You can set it up, plug it in. You don't need interfaces. You don't need anything. You don't need Audible. Sorry. You don't need any other musical programs to run it.
Or Audible.
Or Audible. No monthly subscriptions for this Mac. You can do it and you can get it done. You can plug in a mic, you can record, you can set up hip-hop beats. I actually have a friend and she recorded a whole hip-hop album in the tractor while she worked. So it's easy. I'm going to leave it under the 3 minutes because I think I've set up what I'm happy to go into as the introduction.
All right.
So let's do it.
Well, I'll set up my 3 minutes so we're not cheating, and you can press start on that one when you're ready. Come in.
Yep. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, my colleague and good friend Jess has pointed out to you the streamlined use of the Macintosh. Now,
The Macintosh boys.
the issue that I have with streamline is streamline is what you give your daughter when she turns 16 for a car. You don't give your daughter a Ford Mustang that she learns how to build, unless you're a fucking boss, but no one's a fucking boss. A normal nuclear family father gives them a little like Corolla or Getz, something that doesn't require hardly any maintenance, that gets the job done with minimal effort, and including driving skills, knowledge of maintenance of a vehicle. Now, to relate this back to the computer conversation, it's quite simply that the Macintosh is a Hyundai Getz. It's a good thing to start on. Don't get me wrong. It's a good thing to use the rest of your life. But to progress in the world of computing knowledge and ability to manifest your creativity through a computer, you got to sell the Getz, man. You got to get a real car. And Windows is the real car. Windows is the car that you've been working that shitty office job for too long, and you've already had your midlife crisis, so you buy like a fucking Porsche or something. Now you buy a car that's real to you. Windows is that car. Windows is the car that you built from scratch and you learn everything about it. And that's what it's available to be, yet it can still be the Getz, right? So what I'm saying is taking the beginning steps is great with Mac. I think at school, they should be using Mac because it's for kids. But when you're an adult, using a program with full customizability and knowledge like levels that can be reachable through study and all these type of great things, Windows is the way to go. And I'll cut myself short as well, like you did, Jesse. What do you have to say for yourself? Wait up. Gotta count them in. Gotta keep it legit, guys. We do like to talk too much.
We keep to the seconds here.
Yeah, we talk too much.
We don't fuck around with minutes.
All right, Jesse. 3, 2, 1.
I think it was really interesting. One thing you said there with students, school kids. One, sounds like you don't have too much respect for the next generation and what they'll become, and how we need to really lead them on and give them the right words to guide them through their professions. But I think another very interesting point from that, generally the kids who use a Mac, who get to use a Mac, are the kids studying extra studies or going that extra mile in extracurricular and really driving towards their passions, maybe even their careers. If you look at it, it's only ever the art students, musicians, architects that will end up using those Macs. For general students, you know, maybe what a lot of other people went through, I was grateful enough I ended up getting to use a Mac, but for a lot of students, they're stuck with Windows. And not that there's anything necessarily wrong with Windows, but I think I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but unless you're a certain type of person who, you know, maybe enjoys programming and Mountain Dew and Doritos at 3 in the morning, you might prefer, you know, a Windows for things like gaming. They have a very great system to be able to add sound cards, graphics cards, things for gaming, you know, recreational sort of purposes. But see, the thing is with Mac, how many seconds?
Got a minute and a half, my friend.
Easy. So if you're looking at a Mac, for instance, it's because you want to get driven, you want to get serious.
Okay.
And I like to reference back to what you were referring to, Hyundai Getz, little Suzuki Swifts, might you be adding, but I think you've missed one player, one car that works closest, I think, to any other vehicle with a Mac, and that's a Land Cruiser. Simply because you go inside, it looks a bit exy, and you look at it and it's just a ute. You get inside, it's all basic. It's basic interfaces. It's easy to use. You want to go four-wheel driving, you put it in. It doesn't take a genius to know how to do it, and you get yourself out. Macs will get you into any sort of great position and situation you want, and get you out of any sticky situation you need. Therefore, they are the Land Cruiser of computers.
All right. Jesse did a 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which I implore. Interestingly enough, I disagree, unfortunately, with the statement of the Macintosh being the Land Cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
I agree the sentiment and the plausibility, even the aspiration that it might be a Land Cruiser one day.
Mm-hmm.
But Windows sent man to the moon. Windows sent man to the moon. And if that is not the personification of a car, i.e. the Land Cruiser, what is? And that's what's confusing to me, Jess, is you seem to think that the Macintosh has this otherworldly ability. I won't argue that it has its specifics designs. This is the best machine for creativity.
Mm-hmm.
You can have that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even mean that in a petty way. I mean, you can have that. Macintosh is designed for the creative. Mm-hmm. But we are talking about here, what is the best computer, my friend? And with that in mind, the Windows excels in many more ways other than creative. Mm-hmm. Plus, it still offers the same minor levels of creativity that Macintosh might ask. But it's crucial to understand that we're not talking about the best piece of art. Because, yes, a Macintosh is designed to be sleek. It is designed to look good, feel good, comfortable, easy usability. A Windows is designed like an engine. A Mac is designed like a house. An engine is much more intricate than a house, with much more thought there's been houses around for many, many millennia, but an engine is a modern creation. Windows is the personification of an engine. Many parts that make it work, all interchangeable and all customizable. Therefore, when it comes to the creation of the ultimate computer would be down to personal perception, I believe. And I think...
Plenty of time, by the way.
Thank you. I think that personal perception drives what is perfect, correct? So, with Mac being streamlined, it would be focused on certain areas, whereas Windows is... Windows... Windows has the power / the ability to be something more than a direction that is predetermined, preordained, perhaps. But I'll leave you on this. I like that you think a MacBook is a Land Cruiser, and maybe in the right hands it will. And I like the comment you said about Windows being...
1 second.
Oh, my time is up, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, I have. Now we're going into English.
I know, what the hell.
I've got one point there.
Yes.
And I think that's, you answered it, and you've answered this whole debate for me. You did it, and it's something I think you missed, but you also nailed at the same time. And I want to break it down. You talked about, it's the perfect interface for creativity, for art, but this is an engine, this is robust. But look at the world we're turning into. Look at what people want to do. When we look in the past as careers we've had and incomes and work that we've had, we miss certain things because we see the rat race we're in. And when we look ahead, we see artistic people, these people that think outside the box. I mean, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, all these people. I mean, even the man who created Microsoft himself. They're people that think outside the box, and they're not stuck to one idea, one program, one art form. They chase a dream, and that dream they have is to make people's lives easier. Now, the only way you can find a solution to an issue is to think away from that solution, think outside the box. And that's why I love Microsoft. Macintosh has pinpointed how to do this. I mean, you look at, you want to make music. Well, you set up these programs. There's no 12-month schooling to have to learn these programs. There's no, hey, I want to download this. All right, you download it. You pay $1,000 for this program. You edit it. You learn how to edit first. You've got to do all these things. With the Mac, you can get it done. And entrepreneurs and people with an entrepreneurial life and mindset will strive towards things that cut the bullshit. Let's cut what we need to cut. Let's get someone into it, because then they learn one thing, whether they're interested or not. If you can learn something straight away and start playing around with it, edit some music, edit some claymation, whatever it may be, you think, no, I don't like it, you move on. You spent, 3 weeks of your life doing it. Or you could spend, a year mastering that program, then doing it, and then realizing it's not for you and spending thousands and thousands of dollars for these programs. We are prepared to show people what their true dreams are and give them that chance. That true dream only lies within people having the confidence to be able to use those programs and that computer.
Okay. I now bring it to the people that are watching. This will now be the concluding argument for both sides. Jess did start first, but he also picked the harder subject. So I believe he gets to finish as a fairity. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Last, go for me.
Yep.
Now, I really like that you pointed out my approval of the Macintosh, because the Mac is not a piece of garbage. It proves an ends to a mean, like anything in this world as a consumable product. But it comes from this company that drives on waste and recyclability in the sense of their own products reselling. not essentially about actually recycling. And that annoys me. You know, no one's perfect. Microsoft has its flaws, but it did not get its traction in the same way Apple did. Apple did start as a computer company, but its main point of sale in the modern era is a mobile phone. Am I correct?
I would say the iPod originally. But
Yes. I agree on that statement too. You would upgrade your iPod as much as you could afford.
well, the iPod instantly made Macintosh an iProduct.
Yes.
Before that, it was not.
It was not. Now, it comes to conclusion that these two machines are not the same. You cannot call them a computer, I believe. Because in my opinion, a computer is a machine with cogs, therefore it is Microsoft, right?
Right.
Whereas a Macintosh is not a computer. So why call a banana an orange? Just like as Linux is neither as well. The point I'm trying to make is, quite simply, we cannot distinguish what would be the best computer, because by definition a computer is its operating system, and the original operating system was Windows in the scheme of things. Now, I know it's a bit hard to comprehend the truth behind it all, because neither of us, I don't think, could give us the right answer. But I feel like it's a matter of preference, essentially. I would like to say everyone should own Windows, but I'm also not a dictator, and I also own a Mac myself. So why would I say that? And I would also like to say on your side that a Macintosh should be the main computer of society. But the fact that we have both to choose from might not be enough. There should be more. Is enough to quench old thirsts technologically related. And I'll leave that to you.
Perfect, with 15 seconds to go.
15 seconds to go. And this is the closing argument of Jess. Go.
Alright, so I just want to bring up another point there I thought was interesting. Well, 2 points. The first one being, it depends on what, I feel like what you were trying to say is, depending on what the tool is that you want, you might lean towards a certain computer, and I totally understand that. And another point you mentioned was Windows was the first array, was the OG, and I understand that. But I also think old men tell their stories and die for the next generation, and I think there's a beautiful thing to be learnt from what has begun, but we don't fly Wright Brothers planes anymore. We don't fly USSR rockets anymore to outer space. We don't do these things anymore because they give us our foundations, and then we can find, okay, we have these foundations for something that betters our society. For instance, the PC. But then we find, and we come to limiting issues. And those limiting issues is where it gives the opportunity for new people to find and develop a new program, a new system, a new network, whatever it may be, to help that issue. And I think what we've had is PC changed the world. It changed the world forever.
It did. And
PC, you can change, you know, you might be worried about your computer overheating. Okay, you get a bigger fan in it. You might want a bigger graphics card or a bit more memory. You can put that in. You can do it yourself. You can watch a few YouTube videos and do it yourself. But the way a Mac is set up, it's the hopeful position that you won't need that. And if you do, you hope that you get that idea from Mac. Thank you. I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure for us to converse on such topics. There'll be many more to come. Stay tuned. You have a good day.